Welcome, the chosen one. Access is never accidental. If you are allowed near certain people, it is because something in you can handle the weight of who they are. Here is the part nobody warns you about. Not every presence is neutral. Some people walk into rooms and nothing shifts. Others walk in and the temperature changes. Conversations lose their script, and people suddenly feel the urge to either impress, compete, confess, or retreat. That is not coincidence. That is hierarchy, unspoken, energetic, and deeply human. And no, it has nothing to do with being loud, flashy, spiritual, or dramatic. In fact, it usually belongs to the person who is not trying at all. There is a psychological fact most people do not like admitting. Humans subconsciously rank each other within seconds, not based on words, but on nervous system signals. Confidence, regulation, self-trust, and internal authority. Studies in behavioral science show that people instinctively defer to those who appear least reactive and most internally anchored. Translation: the person who is not scrambling for validation quietly becomes the reference point in the room. That is why certain individuals do not need to announce themselves. Their presence does the paperwork before they open their mouth. Now here is where it gets uncomfortable and a little funny if you have lived it. People swear they do not care. Yet suddenly they are watching you, copying phrases, adjusting their posture, laughing a bit too hard at your jokes, getting oddly defensive over nothing. It is like your mere existence hit a hidden button they did not know was installed. And the wild part, you are just standing there, not plotting, not posturing, not trying to be impressive, just existing menacingly calm. It is almost rude, really. This is why access to you is not casual. You are not background energy. You are not filler. You are not someone people can mishandle and walk away unchanged. Being around you requires self-awareness, emotional maturity, and a willingness to be honest. Qualities in short supply but high demand. Some people rise in your presence, others short-circuit. Both reactions reveal more about them than they ever will about you. So when we say they better be careful with you, it is not a threat. It is a warning label, because being in your presence is not entertainment. It is exposure, and not everyone deserves front row seats to that. Number 1. Your presence destabilizes false identities, and people feel exposed around you. Some people do not dislike you because of what you did. They feel unsettled because of what stops working when you are around. The version of themselves they usually perform, confident, harmless, impressive, innocent, superior, does not land the same way in your presence. You do not buy into it, even unconsciously. And the body knows before the mind does. Their posture changes, their voice shifts. They over-explain, overshare, or suddenly go quiet in a way that feels forced. Something in them realizes this person can see past the costume. Most people survive by maintaining an identity that keeps them safe. The nice one, the tough one, the victim, the hero, the intellectual, the misunderstood genius. These identities are not lies on purpose. They are coping mechanisms. But when you are around, those mechanisms glitch. You do not reward performance. You do not respond the way the script expects. You do not play along. And that creates exposure, not public humiliation, internal exposure. The kind where someone feels seen by themselves. That is why reactions to you are rarely mild. People either lean in or pull away. Some feel relieved because they are tired of pretending and sense you will not require it. Others feel irritated for no clear reason. They may nitpick you, misinterpret your tone, or assign intentions you never had. What they are really reacting to is the discomfort of being unable to hide comfortably. You are not judging them. You are not testing them. You are simply grounded in who you are, and that stability acts like a spotlight. It reveals the gap between who someone is and who they have been presenting. For people who have built their entire sense of safety on that presentation, your presence feels risky. This is why access to you should never be casual. Being around you is not just hanging out. It is an encounter with truth, whether someone wants it or not. You do not expose people by attacking them. You expose them by being real in a world full of performance, and not everyone is brave enough to stand in that space without flinching. Number 2, people gain clarity or lose control after interacting with you. There is no neutral outcome. Being around you is not a casual experience. People either leave clearer, more aligned with themselves, or they spiral because they cannot handle the reflection you give them. You do not have to say much. You do not have to confront anyone directly. Your energy, your groundedness, and your refusal to play games act like a mirror that people cannot look away from. Some see the truth of themselves for the first time. They realize how much of their life has been guided by fear, lies, or the need to impress. That clarity hits hard, but it feels like relief. It feels like permission to drop the masks and stop performing, and they love you for it, even if it unsettles them at first. Then there is the other type, the ones who cannot face what your presence reveals. They feel exposed, defensive, and off balance. Subconsciously, they know that their patterns, manipulations, or avoidance tactics will not work around you. Their attempts to control the situation, influence the narrative, or assert dominance backfire. Because your steadiness does not react to their triggers. They end up showing their true selves in ways they never intended. Their anxiety, insecurity, and hidden agendas surface because your presence does not accommodate pretense. This is why interactions with you are never neutral. There is no casual, surface-level experience that leaves people unchanged. Even if you walk away quietly, the impact lingers. They may replay the conversation, notice things they have been ignoring about themselves, or realize how out of alignment they have been with their own life. Your mere presence forces a reckoning. You create a space where honesty and self-awareness cannot be avoided. That makes some people grateful and others agitated. But either way, they leave transformed. The room shifts, the energy shifts, and people leave either stronger or in temporary chaos. But they leave different. That is the gravity you carry, the invisible force that demands truth without confrontation. Being near you is a test, not by your design, but by the undeniable reality of who you are. Before we go further, I want to take a moment to speak to you directly, Chosen One. This channel was created for people like you, people who carry a presence that changes rooms, people who are learning to understand the weight of what they carry and how to walk in it with intention. Creating content like this takes time, prayer, and a genuine commitment to reaching people who are ready to step into the fullness of who they are. If these insights have resonated with you today, if something said here confirmed a truth you have been sensing for a long time, I want to invite you to support this mission. Through the link in the pinned comment, you can contribute by buying us a coffee, making a donation, or joining our community as a monthly member. Luke 6:38 says, "Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." Every seed you plant into this work grows into content that reaches the next chosen one who is still discovering their power. The link is in the pinned comment. Take that step today. Number 3. You unintentionally mirror people's inner contradictions back to them. There is a strange kind of power in the way you exist. You do not have to point fingers, call anyone out, or make a scene. Simply by being consistent, self-aware, and unshackably aligned with yourself, you reflect back the parts of people they would rather not see. When someone walks into a room with unspoken agendas, hidden fears, or contradictions in their behavior, you act like a living mirror. They catch themselves mid-thought, mid-action, mid-word, and suddenly it is impossible for them to ignore the gap between who they pretend to be and who they actually are. This mirroring effect is not malicious. It is not a tactic or a game. It is a natural consequence of your clarity and presence. People who are used to manipulating situations, managing perceptions, or hiding behind superficial charm feel off balance because you do not participate in the same illusions. You simply exist as the version of yourself that is grounded, coherent, and real, and that forces them to confront inconsistencies they have been avoiding for years. Their discomfort is not about you. It is about the truth they have been running from. Because of this, some people overcompensate around you. They talk too much, explain too much, laugh too loudly, or even argue over trivial matters. Their actions are often a subconscious attempt to reclaim control or mask the unease your presence triggers. Others withdraw completely, avoiding eye contact, curbing their usual bravado, or pretending nothing is happening. They feel the reflection of themselves staring back and instinctively want to escape. Being around you is like holding up a spotlight without even trying. The light does not judge. It does not comment. It simply exposes, and exposure makes people squirm. It forces honesty in ways words cannot. That is why some people love you secretly, others fear you quietly, and many simply cannot understand what is happening. You do not have to speak, confront, or lecture. The truth reveals itself because of who you are, and people feel it before they even realize it. Your mere existence unmasks hidden contradictions, and that is a form of influence few ever achieve. 4. Your nervous system is regulated in a way most people have never experienced. There is a quality about you that people notice immediately, even if they cannot put it into words. You do not overreact, you do not panic, and you do not feed into chaos. You exist in a state of calm, even when everything around you is spinning. It is not because life has not thrown storms your way, far from it. It is because your internal system has been trained to respond with clarity, presence, and control. You do not get pulled into drama, and that unsettles people who are used to seeing reactions as the measure of reality. Your steadiness becomes the reference point in any room, whether anyone acknowledges it or not. Most people operate in a constant, low-level stress state. Even if they wear a confident mask, they react impulsively, misinterpret intentions, and get tangled in emotions that do not belong to them. When they encounter someone like you, someone who remains anchored, they feel disoriented. Your calm does not invite chaos, it exposes it. People expect certain triggers to provoke a reaction, and when nothing happens, they start questioning themselves. They overthink every word you say, analyze every gesture, and sometimes even convince themselves you are hiding something simply because your equilibrium is alien to them. Your energy does not need to be aggressive or loud to dominate a space. It is the quiet authority of someone who has survived, processed, and integrated life at a level most people cannot even comprehend. That is why manipulators, liars, and attention seekers struggle around you. They try to provoke, bait, or control, but your nervous system does not respond in ways that are exploitable. Their tactics fail before they even begin. Being near you is like being next to a human metronome, predictable in rhythm, unwavering in tempo. It is not boring. It is profoundly unsettling for those who thrive on instability. They may admire it secretly, but they will also fear it without knowing why. Your regulated presence is a force of its own, unspoken but undeniable. It commands attention, respect, and caution. People who meet it once feel it forever, because it is not something that can be imitated or faked. 5. You cannot be manipulated long-term, and manipulators sense this early. There is a radar people do not talk about, a subtle frequency that you emit even without trying, that makes manipulators uneasy. They can feel it before words are exchanged, before intentions are revealed. It is in the way you hold yourself, the consistency in your choices, the refusal to bend to pressures that are not aligned with your truth. Some people test you, intentionally or not, to see if you can be swayed, guided, or controlled. They gauge how much of their narrative they can insert into your life. The moment they realize their usual tactics, pressure, guilt, charm, intimidation, do not work on you. They become unsettled, frustrated, or even desperate. Manipulators thrive on control, on reading reactions and bending them to their advantage. But with you, that equation breaks. You do not react predictably. You do not absorb chaos as leverage. You do not over-explain or justify yourself. Your actions are deliberate, rooted in clarity, and your boundaries are non-negotiable. That combination is confusing to anyone whose skill set relies on exploiting confusion. They start small, testing limits, creating scenarios, probing vulnerabilities, but eventually they hit the wall of your consistency. And walls cannot be negotiated. This resistance is not about stubbornness or ego, it is about alignment with reality. Manipulators often mistake compliance for connection and control for respect. When neither is granted, their attempts crumble, often faster than they expect. Some will retreat quietly, realizing they cannot bend you. Others will lash out, projecting anger, fear, or contempt, because they have been confronted with a truth they cannot influence. Being around you is a kind of unspoken calibration. People who attempt manipulation discover themselves. Either they adjust their behavior or they reveal exactly who they are when their tactics fail. Your presence is a filter. It allows only those capable of genuine interaction to remain steady in your orbit. Those who cannot adjust either fall away or expose their patterns. You never have to call it out. It is obvious in how situations unfold. Being unmanipulable is not a skill you flaunt. It is a byproduct of your alignment, your integrity, and the quiet but undeniable authority you carry. I want to pause here for just a moment, because what this channel is doing is not accidental. It is a mission, a genuine commitment to reaching people who carry the kind of presence we have been describing today. People who are done being misread, manipulated, and underestimated. Creating content like this consistently takes time, prayer, and real sacrifice. If this channel has been a source of clarity or confirmation in your life, if something spoken here today gave you a new language for what you have always sensed about yourself, I want to invite you to support this work. Through the link in the pinned comment, you can buy us a coffee, make a donation, or become a monthly member of this community. Proverbs 1:25 says, "A generous person will prosper, and whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." Your generosity does not just keep this channel alive. It multiplies into messages that reach the next chosen one who is still learning to understand the weight of what they carry. The link is in the pinned comment. Take that step now. 6. Your boundaries do not need explaining, and that terrifies entitled people. You do not negotiate your self-respect. You do not tiptoe around it, and you certainly do not feel the need to justify it. Your boundaries exist because you have built them through experience, clarity, and understanding of your own value. They are firm, non-negotiable, and communicated through your energy and actions more than your words. For most people, that level of self-possession is unfamiliar, and it is terrifying for those who are used to taking liberties with others. Entitled, people operate under the assumption that rules, limits, and respect are flexible, especially when it comes to people they think they know or deserve. When they encounter someone who refuses to bend, it destabilizes their entire approach. You do not argue about your limits, you do not debate them, justify them, or seek approval. That refusal to explain is unsettling because entitled individuals are conditioned to control, persuade, or guilt people into compliance. Suddenly, they realize that no matter how clever, persistent, or charming they are, they cannot make you bend. They start to overanalyze every interaction, second-guess every attempt, and test you repeatedly. Some escalate to hostility, projecting frustration, insecurity, or resentment onto you, all because your boundaries highlight their own inability to respect limits. This does not mean you are rigid or unapproachable. It means your sense of self is unshakable. People feel it, whether consciously or not. They sense that any violation of your space, energy, or integrity is impossible without immediate consequences. Your consistency becomes a silent warning sign. Mess with this, and you face the results. That level of accountability is uncomfortable for anyone used to getting their way without resistance. Being around you is a lesson in self-possession without preaching. Your boundaries teach respect simply by existing. They attract people who are willing to meet you as you are and filter out those who are not. Entitled individuals either learn to step back or inadvertently expose themselves. You do not have to enforce your boundaries aggressively. They enforce themselves because your alignment is absolute, and that absolute presence is something very few are equipped to handle. 7. You carry depth that cannot be skimmed, and most people drown trying. There is a weight to you that people feel instantly, even before they hear a word. It is not about being mysterious or complicated. It is about the substance behind your presence. Your thoughts, your experiences, your energy carry layers that were not built overnight. People sense it because they feel the honesty, the consistency, and the awareness embedded in the way you move through the world. Most people, however, are not equipped to engage with that level of depth. They try to skim, to keep things light or simple, but they quickly realize there is no surface here to float on. You are a current, and anyone unprepared to swim in it feels disoriented or overwhelmed. That depth manifests in every interaction. Conversations with you do not stay casual. They dig into unspoken truths. Observing you is not passive, it is confronting. You notice inconsistencies in people without pointing them out. You read intentions without effort. You respond in ways that reveal truth without judgment. For some, this is magnetic. For others, it is threatening. They feel exposed, even if you never call attention to anything. The layers you carry reflect a life fully experienced, processed, and integrated, and that level of integrity is foreign to most. Because of this, people often overcompensate around you. They try to impress, to fill the space with noise, or to perform intellect and insight that does not match their lived reality. Others withdraw, sensing that there is no way to keep up without showing themselves in a raw, unfiltered way. Either response is a reaction to the gravity of your depth. You do not ask for these reactions. They occur naturally because being around you is not neutral. Your presence demands engagement on a meaningful level. People cannot coast, they cannot fake, and they cannot manipulate the pace of interaction. They must either rise to meet the depth you carry or retreat. And that is why access to you is a privilege. Not everyone can withstand the clarity, the integrity, and the intensity you bring into a space. Your depth is not a burden. It is a filter, a standard, and a reflection of a life lived fully. Those who can navigate it leave stronger. Those who cannot feel the weight, and it changes them whether they like it or not. 8. Your empathy is dangerous because it comes with discernment. You do not just feel people, you understand them. You sense their pain, their fears, their insecurities, and even their hidden motivations. But unlike most, your empathy is not blind or unconditional in a naive way. It comes with discernment. You can see through performances, manipulations, and self-deception. And you know when someone's story does not match their actions. That combination, deep feeling paired with sharp perception, is what makes your empathy dangerous to those who rely on deception, entitlement, or control. People around you can feel it almost immediately. They sense that you are compassionate, but not gullible. You care, but you also notice every inconsistency. This kind of empathy makes your presence destabilizing for some. People who expect sympathy without accountability feel exposed. They cannot hide behind excuses or manipulate your understanding because you do not ignore contradictions. Your care does not excuse harm, it illuminates it. That clarity can be uncomfortable, even threatening, to those who have grown accustomed to slipping through the cracks of other people's kindness. They might try to provoke you, manipulate your compassion, or test your patience, but your discernment always reads between the lines. You see what they are doing, why they are doing it, and whether it aligns with truth, and your response, or sometimes even your silence, communicates more than any words could. Empathy with discernment is not about judgment. It is about seeing the real structure beneath the surface. It allows you to connect deeply with those who are honest and ready to grow, while naturally distancing those who are not. People who experience this from you either feel transformed, recognized and understood, or exposed, unsettled, and challenged. There is no middle ground. Because of this, your empathy becomes a kind of filter, a force that naturally shapes your environment. Those who can handle it are drawn closer, often without realizing why. Those who cannot are pushed away, often against their will, because their actions, intentions, and emotional games are impossible to sustain around you. Your empathy does not just feel, it influences, clarifies, and holds a subtle but undeniable power that most people can neither ignore nor fully comprehend. 9. You do not absorb chaos, you expose its source. When chaos erupts around you, it does not stick. You do not carry the drama, the panic, or the manipulations. Instead, it travels through you like water over a stone, unmoved, unreactive, and revealing. People expect turbulence to ripple outward, to affect everyone in the room. But when you are present, the turbulence often bounces back, exposing its origin. Those who are used to stirring conflict, creating tension, or manipulating outcomes quickly realize that their games do not work. The chaos reveals the instigators because you refuse to participate in the illusion. Your energy acts like a spotlight that without effort traces every problem back to its source. This does not require confrontation or commentary. Your presence alone interrupts the usual flow of manipulation. People who rely on controlling others through confusion or fear suddenly find themselves isolated. Their tactics fail because you respond with clarity and steadiness rather than agitation or compliance. Their own behavior becomes obvious to everyone around them, and sometimes to themselves, because the usual distractions they depend on vanish. That is why manipulators, attention seekers, and drama creators often react in extremes around you, either trying to regain control or retreating entirely. Your effect is not limited to exposing bad actors. You also bring clarity to the environment. When chaos surrounds you, people instinctively understand who is responsible and who is not. It is like a natural audit, emotional, energetic, and unspoken. Those who have contributed to conflict cannot hide, and those who have been innocent are shielded from false blame. Your presence establishes a kind of energetic justice that does not need explanation or force. Being around you is not just calming, it is clarifying. People leave encounters with you either aware of their own role in situations or relieved that the storm never touched them. You are not a participant in chaos, nor are you a neutral observer. You are the mirror, the filter, and the stabilizing point that exposes where disorder originates. That makes your presence a privilege and a warning. Chaos cannot take root in your orbit, and those who try are revealed in full, whether they like it or not. 10. Your energy demands authenticity, not perfection. You do not care about appearances, status symbols, or polished facades. What matters to you is truth. Raw, unfiltered, unpolished truth. That kind of presence is rare, and it makes people uncomfortable because most of the world operates on performance. People are trained to impress, to hide flaws, to curate their image. You see past all of that instantly. You respond to honesty, effort, and integrity, not perfection, and that changes the dynamic in every room you enter. People feel the expectation to show up as themselves, not as a version of who they think they are supposed to be, and that is unsettling for those who have spent their lives hiding behind masks. Your authenticity does not scream or demand attention. It simply exists, and the contrast is immediate. Someone trying to maintain a persona realizes that it does not hold up around you. Lies, exaggerations, and pretenses bounce off your energy. People can feel that your alignment with your own truth does not require validation from others. They notice it in your calm, in the way you carry yourself, in how you respond without reaction. That is what makes them anxious, frustrated, or overly self-conscious. They are being confronted with a standard they cannot fake or manipulate. Because of this, relationships, conversations, and interactions with you operate on a higher plane. People either rise to meet the level of honesty you bring, or they reveal themselves through the cracks in their own performance. Your presence does not demand perfection from anyone. It demands courage. The courage to be real, to stop performing, and to accept who they truly are. That kind of energy filters everything. Only those willing to be authentic remain in your orbit. Your influence is subtle but undeniable. You teach without lectures, expose without confrontation, and attract without effort. People feel seen for who they are, and they are challenged to reconcile the person they present with the person they actually are. That is the power of being authentically aligned with yourself. You do not need to correct anyone. Your energy corrects the room. It draws honesty, exposes pretense, and demands alignment in a way that few can resist. People either step up or step away, and your presence becomes the test of who can truly exist in your reality. 1. People come into your space expecting reactions, validation, or admiration. They assume that status, money, appearance, or loud displays of power will get your attention. But you are not impressed by these superficial markers. You measure people by their integrity, consistency, and the depth of their character, not by what they own or how they perform. That perspective immediately unsettles those who rely on external validation to maintain their sense of importance. Their usual tricks, showing off, name-dropping, or boasting, fall flat. It is not arrogance on your part. It is discernment, a quiet standard that refuses to be manipulated by appearances. This ability humbles egos because people realize quickly that conventional tactics of influence do not work on you. Someone who is used to being admired or envied feels small, not in a condescending way, but because your presence exposes the emptiness of their usual methods. They have to recalibrate, confront their insecurities, or reveal their true self if they want genuine connection. Many panic, overcompensate, or act defensively simply because the usual levers they pull no longer produce results. Your lack of being easily impressed creates a natural filter. People who thrive on superficial recognition leave the space quickly, either retreating or revealing the fragility of their ego. Those who are authentic, grounded, and aligned remain, often earning a quiet respect from you that cannot be faked or demanded. This dynamic shifts the energy in any room you enter. You set the tone without announcing it. People instinctively adjust because your presence communicates standards, not through judgment, but through clarity and discernment. Being around you is a lesson in substance over show. It exposes empty facades, elevates truth, and humbles those who rely on projection or pretense to assert themselves. Your energy does not compete. It filters, aligns, and reveals. Those who understand this benefit, those who do not feel discomfort, sometimes intense, without ever understanding why. You do not need to prove your awareness. Your presence alone humbles and sorts the room, making clear who belongs in genuine spaces and who does not. 12 people project their unresolved issues onto you because you do not carry yours publicly. There is a strange effect that happens when you operate from clarity and self-possession. People cannot resist projecting their own mess onto you. They see your confidence, your calm, your alignment, and their first reaction is rarely admiration. Instead, they unconsciously fill the space you occupy with their fears, insecurities, and unresolved conflicts. They assume your neutrality or composure is judgment, your boundaries are personal offenses, and your calmness is a challenge to them. All of this projection happens because you carry your life with integrity. You do not display your struggles, you do not overshare your pain, and you do not dramatize your experiences. People around you, often unconsciously, try to balance the emotional scales by dumping theirs onto you. This projection is why some interactions with you are confusing, even exhausting. For others, they interpret your presence through the lens of their own unresolved trauma or guilt. A simple boundary you set can feel like an attack. Your refusal to engage in manipulation or performative emotion can feel like coldness. People might argue, compete, or create unnecessary tension. But it is never really about you. It is their own inner chaos speaking. Your alignment does not just expose them, it forces them to reckon. Over time, they either recognize their projection, step back, and adjust, or they reveal themselves fully, often in ways they never intended. Your stability and transparency act as a mirror, reflecting not who they are in isolation, but who they are in the presence of someone unshakable. This is why being around you is both transformative and intimidating. People are confronted with the parts of themselves they have been avoiding, and you do not have to say a word. The reality is, your grounded presence is a filter. It separates those who are willing to face themselves from those who are not. People who project onto you often do so because they cannot sustain authenticity around your energy. You do not absorb it. You do not react impulsively, and you do not take responsibility for it. You simply exist, unshaken, and in doing so, you expose the unresolved, the fragile, and the performative, whether they like it or not. Your presence is not just a space, it is a revelation. 13. Being close to you accelerates growth, and not everyone wants that. Your presence is not neutral. Being around you changes people, whether they like it or not. You do not do this by pushing, preaching, or correcting. You do it simply by being aligned, aware, and authentic. People sense it immediately, the clarity in your energy, the steadiness of your actions, the truth embedded in your words. For some, this is invigorating. They rise to the occasion, confront their weaknesses, and begin to shed layers they have clung to for years. They feel challenged in a way that is ultimately freeing, as though standing near you pulls them out of confusion and forces them to see themselves clearly for the first time. Your presence speeds up growth in ways therapy, lectures, or advice never could, because it bypasses intellectual resistance and goes straight to awareness. But not everyone is ready or willing for that acceleration. Some people prefer comfort over truth, stagnation over growth. Your energy makes them uncomfortable because it highlights the distance between who they are and who they could be. Around you, their excuses, fears, and avoidance become glaringly obvious. They squirm, push back, or create conflict, trying to slow down the change that being near you naturally induces. They feel exposed without even realizing it, because you do not participate in their avoidance, you do not smooth over their illusions, and you do not dilute reality to protect their ego. That tension is part of your power. You act as a catalyst. People either rise to meet it or retreat entirely. Some will leave better versions of themselves simply because they were allowed to be near you, while others will leave frustrated, defensive, or confused, incapable of handling the mirror you hold up. There is no judgment. It is just the effect of your presence. Being close to you is a privilege because it forces growth. It is not always comfortable, and it certainly is not easy, but it is transformative. People who can withstand it benefit profoundly, often in ways they never anticipated. Those who cannot often resent it, yet the experience leaves them changed anyway. Your energy does not just touch lives. It accelerates evolution, whether people are ready or not. 14. Your presence is a privilege because it comes with responsibility. Being near you is not casual. It is not a background experience, and it is not something anyone should take for granted. Your energy, your alignment, and your clarity demand respect simply by existing. People who are allowed close to you are entering a space that carries accountability, integrity, and unspoken standards. That is why your presence is a privilege. It is not about what you give them. It is about what they are required to bring to the table: honesty, respect, and awareness. Those who fail to meet that standard reveal themselves quickly. This privilege comes with responsibility because interacting with you is not just about them. It is about the effect they have on you and the environment you maintain. People are tested in subtle ways the moment they step into your orbit. Every word, action, and intention is registered consciously or unconsciously because your energy exposes pretense, inconsistency, and hidden agendas. They cannot hide behind charm, status, or manipulation. Those who ignore this responsibility risk revealing their true character in ways they never intended, and the consequences are immediate. Your presence teaches people without a single word being said. It communicates that life is not for casual engagement, that truth matters more than appearances, and that access to your time, energy, and space is earned, not assumed. That is why some people feel honored, while others feel unnerved. They recognize the unspoken demand you place on the world around you. You give people clarity, reflection, and the chance to step into alignment, but only if they are willing to rise to it. Ultimately, being in your presence is transformative because it is sacred. It filters who can exist authentically, who can respect limits, and who can engage with truth without fear or manipulation. People who understand this gain an invaluable opportunity to grow, elevate, and recalibrate themselves. Those who fail to recognize it expose themselves, often unintentionally, and reveal patterns they could never hide from someone like you. Your presence is not casual, it is not neutral, and it is not disposable. It is a privilege, and anyone allowed near it carries a responsibility they cannot escape, whether they realize it or not. The truth is simple but profound. Being in the presence of a chosen one is not an ordinary experience. Every interaction, every moment spent near you carries weight, clarity, and transformation. People cannot approach you casually, pretend around you, or manipulate you without consequences. Your energy exposes truths, accelerates growth, and filters out anything that is inauthentic. You do not just exist. You set a standard, a tone, and a rhythm that others unconsciously measure themselves against. Some rise to meet it, stepping into greater alignment with themselves and life. Others falter, revealing patterns, insecurities, and contradictions they have spent years hiding. Your presence is a force that does not need to shout to be felt. It is subtle, yet undeniable. It teaches without preaching, corrects without force, and demands respect without demanding attention. People are challenged simply by standing near you because your authenticity, depth, and clarity are a mirror they cannot avoid. They are confronted with their own inconsistencies, their unprocessed pain, and their illusions, whether they want to face them or not. This is why access to you is not a right. It is a privilege. People who are allowed in your space are either elevated or exposed, refined or unsettled, but never untouched. And here is the ultimate truth. Your energy is not about control. It is about alignment. You inspire clarity, integrity, and courage in those who deserve it, while naturally repelling those who cannot handle it. You do not need to prove anything, defend yourself, or chase validation. Your presence alone accomplishes what few people, words, or lessons ever could. That is the rare and extraordinary power you carry. So understand this. Your existence commands reverence. It changes rooms, lives, and perspectives. It is a privilege for anyone allowed close to you, and it is a responsibility for them to meet the standard you embody. Recognize your value, embrace your alignment, and continue walking through life unapologetically anchored in your truth. If you felt the impact of this message and understand the power you carry, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Like this video to support the message. Comment below and share your thoughts. And share this with someone who needs to hear the truth about their presence. Your energy is rare. Let us honor it together. And before you go, if this channel has spoken to something real in you today, if these words have helped you understand the weight and the privilege of the presence you carry, I want to invite you to support this mission through the link in the pinned comment, whether by buying us a coffee, making a donation, or joining our community as a monthly member. Your contribution keeps this light burning for the next chosen one who is still learning to walk in the fullness of who they are. Every seed sown into this work grows into a message that reaches someone who needs it. 2 Corinthians 9:7 says God loves a cheerful giver. Give in faith and watch what returns to you. The link is in the pinned comment. Merry Christmas and God bless you.